Hey everybody, Cliff Ravenscraft here, and oh my gosh, am I so excited to share this vlog entry on my YouTube channel. I happen to also be recording live, broadcasting live on Facebook at the same time, recording everything here. And today I got to tell you a story. And another dream, another dream is about to come true. Another dream is about to become a reality. Now, many of you have heard me talk over the years about this absolute proven formula for achieving your goals. And if you have not heard me talk about that, then I encourage you to head over to my podcast. I'll tell you where you can go, podcastanswerman.com. I'm going to look this up here real quickly for you guys, because it was just like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it is episode 525 of my podcast. So you can go to podcastanswerman.com/525, or is it podcastanswerman.com/goals. And I hope that if I go in, I'm going to just check this for you, 525. I should have made it to where 525 forwards to goals, and it hasn't. So I'm going to do that right now. Watch this. I'm going to go into my podcast Answer Man, because I want to make sure that anybody who gets this in the replay, episode 525 should link over. So I'm going to do link Pam/goals 525, and let's go ahead and do that. I can't believe I didn't do that previously. So now, if you go to podcastanswerman.com/goals, you'll get there. Podcastanswerman.com/525. I'm going to try it again. 525 does now. It should confirm in just a second. And sure enough, it now forwards you to episode 525. Okay, so episode 525 of the Cliff Ravenscraft Show is a absolute proven strategy for achieving practically any goal you set for yourself that you remain focused on. And this formula, it's a 5-step formula. It used to be a 4-step formula, and I determined that there's an important 5th step when I was recording that. That's important. That's always been a part of the formula, but now it's actually broken out in another step. But if you want this formula, go to podcastanswerman.com/goals. Okay, now, with that being said, I will tell you one of my goals, one of my dreams, has been to have a dream car. I'm not a car guy. I am not a car guy. Just so you know, my business is very financially successful today. My wife and I and our family, we live in our dream home that we built. We're incredibly blessed beyond our wildest imagination. And technically speaking, if I was a car guy, if I had big, huge aspirations for cars, I mean, I could probably go out and have a car, any car that I wanted, but I've just never been a car guy. But there has been this dream of mine to own a very specific car. And it's like, if there was one car that I would love to own, it would be a 1970s, an early 70s model Volkswagen Beetle. Now the thing is I'm very specific exactly what I want in this car. I don't want one that has been completely, totally, fully restored with all kinds of fancy schmancy, all this other stuff. I want something that is as close to the original car, if possible, one that looks just like it did when it rolled off the lot. Now, the thing is ideally I would like a 1973, but it's not absolutely essential for me that it is a 1973 Beetle. And people say, well, what color would you get? And the color's not that important to me. In fact, it's not even important that the paint on the car looks super, glossy and nice and new or anything like that. It's just, if this car had even a bit of rust on it, but the important thing is that the body is in good shape. I don't care if it has its original motor, but I want a motor that's dependable, because I'm not a car guy. I don't know very much about cars. But I want a car that's not going to break down on me every time I take it out for a 20-mile drive or something like that. And I know that that's a risk with a car that is as old as I am. So anyway, this has just been a dream of mine. Not one that I've really thought about pursuing all that much. It's just been like, maybe one day. And then I got to thinking and started having conversations with people, and I realized this has been a dream of mine for the last 20 30 years. I'm not kidding you. 20 or 30 years this has been a dream of mine, but it wasn't until a couple months ago that I really started thinking about it as potentially a goal. And why is that? Well, because I've just never been a car guy. Matter of fact, my wife has a 2013 Honda Pilot, which we purchased in 2013, bought it off the lot, paid cash for it, and that was her car, and she drives that. And my car, that is not even my car anymore. My daughter drives it 99.5% of the time, and I drive it if it's here and I need to go somewhere. But if it's here and I need to go somewhere, but she also needs to go somewhere, it's pretty much she's going to get the priority over me. And that's just because I allow it to be that way. I can Uber anywhere I want to go. That's been my thought process. Why do I need a car? I work from home. I'm not going to go out and buy another car, because I don't do a lot of driving. And when I drive to Nashville, Tennessee, that's the place I drive to the most, except for now I've been driving to the gym a lot in the morning since I've been going to a new gym. But that's neither here nor there. But why do I need this new car? It's not a big deal. And when I drive to the gym in the morning, I drive before anybody else in the house is awake, so I can drive the Pilot. So it's just never been I never even thought to have a dream of a car or set a goal for a car. But it was, I think back in, was that November? November 3rd and 4th, I believe it was. I had a next level workshop here in our home, with 14 folks here in the workshop. And it was an incredible time. And there was one person, his name is Chris Nelson, who stayed for an extra day. He paid the $7,500 to have the Day with Cliff package. And we went out to lunch during his Day with Cliff package, his coaching day with me, and we got to talking and talking about a car, um and I told him pretty much everything that I just told you guys. I said, maybe, if I was a car guy, if I ever had a dream car, may okay, maybe a brand new Tesla, but even that doesn't sound all that appealing to me, to be honest with you. As much as I'm into technology and stuff like that, I don't know that I really want a Tesla. I just don't know that I want. But if we're gonna get serious, if I have a dream about a car, it's a dream that I've had maybe even since I was a kid. It would be an early '70s Volkswagen Beetle. And so we just had that conversation, and I didn't think anything more of it. And then in the mail, I get this card, and it doesn't look like anything special, right? But it is. It's very special to me. And inside of it is a handwritten note from my friend Chris Nelson. He says, "Message on cover may appear smaller than actual gratitude." First of all, I like that. He says, "Cliff, thank you so much for helping me get started on the road to my dream. In return, I wanted to help you get started with one of yours. Enjoy. Have a good one, Chris Nelson." That's the actual handwritten note in here. Now, this actually came in a box with this. This little car right here. This is a 1973 Volkswagen Beetle Bug. And excuse me, I'm sorry. But the hood opens up. Let's open up the hood here. The hood opens up and the car doors open, and as you can see, it's green, which green is actually my favorite color. But this is a 1973 Bug, and Chris sent this to me. And when he sent it to me, I literally sat there and thinking, wow, you know what? I really do want one of these. And just so you know, there have been times over the years that I've researched, cars, and every time I pass a used car lot that has a Volkswagen Bug, I stop in and I look and see what they are. And I mean, I've seen some real junkers, some extreme junkers that basically they're really not anything more good for anything more than parts, but even those have been right around $1,500 to $2,500. And right after Chris sent me this, it was the first time I started looking at the pricing on one of these cars, what it would be to get a car around this time frame, a 1973 Volkswagen Beetle. And I started to actually research how much would one of these cost. And I looked, and you can get some that are in pretty poor shape for as little as maybe $6,500, and some that are absolutely in pristine condition. And I've seen them go as high as $11,000, $12,000, $13,000. And I got to thinking, an average price seems to be about 10 grand. And I'm like, that's not that expensive. But you know what? I'll just set this on my desk, right? I'll just set it right there on my desk. And it's just been sitting there every day. And every now and then I just go and just I look them up again. I don't know why. Then, not too long after that, I get this card in the mail. Now, this card is from Christopher Voss. And I'm not going to read the entire handwritten note that Christopher sent me, but he wrote on here, for the day when you get your 1973 Beetle, and I know that day will come, you will wear this on your first spin. All right. So, Christopher Voss, thank you for this card, but also thank you for this awesome shirt that you sent me to wear on the day that I actually take my first spin in my 1973 Volkswagen Beetle. Now, a couple days ago, I was on the Facebook app and they have this little store or whatever, the little shopping thing where people can post their stuff, and there's tons of like it's almost laughable, some of the things that are on there, right? But the other day I came across this. All right, are you ready for this? I'm going to switch over. Check this out. I came across this listing and I specifically said I want to look for a Volkswagen Beetle that is anything earlier than 1980 and that's within 40 miles of my house. And this car pulled up. Now, this is not a 1973, but that's okay. My heart has never been set on the year 1973. I would have been just as happy with a 1960s, late 60s, early 70s. That's what I want. I just wanted something right around the late 60s, early 70s. That was really my dream. But so I started looking, I'm like, I wonder if I can find a 1973 Volkswagen Beetle. This thing's been sitting on my desk every day, this little toy car. And every day, it's just solidifying inside of me this dream. And so I find this car. It's a 1974 Volkswagen Beetle for $8,650, which is certainly within the price range of what I thought it would be. And then I saw this 1,500 miles. Okay. So it says really sharp, mint condition, 1974 Beetle, only 1,500 miles on it, runs and drives great, just around, let's see, just all around sweet vehicle. Any further questions, feel free to message me on here. Thank you. So I did, and of course, let me just show you here. Look at that beautiful angle of this car from there. Look at that beautiful angle there. The tires, who cares about the tires? But look at that. And by the way, it's very important that I would have had a manual transmission as well. And there's a picture of the engine. And then there's a picture of the inside of the car. They put looks like a pretty significant sound system into the back of this thing. And there's the odometer showing 1,520 miles. All right. So let me come back to you here for just a second and tell you that, okay, I saw this like 2 days ago. And I just glanced at it once and I'm like, okay. And then I happened to pull it up on my phone again yesterday. And I actually hit the button that says, I'm interested, which sent us an instant message right to this person, Nick, who's selling the car at this used car store or pre-owned car dealer. And I said, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't know that the app would do that. I was more hoping to save this just so I could come back and look at it, see if it sticks around for a couple days. But hey, since I have you, do you mind if I ask you some questions? But just so you know, I'm really not interested. I mean, I might be 10% interested, but I do have some questions for you. And I'm like, okay, so can you tell me, is this car, I mean, it says 1,500 miles. Can you tell me, has this been restored? Did you restore this, rebuild this yourself? And he's like, no, this actually came from somebody who works with us, and he's selling it. Those are original miles. And I'm like, no, it's a brand new engine and you reset it and stuff like that. 15. He said, no, those are original 1,500 miles. And I'm like, seriously? And I said, so has this thing been restored? He goes, well, it's got a brand new paint job, as you can see. And it has a few aftermarket parts. For example, the stereo, and it looks like the seats and stuff like that. But as far as the car itself, it's original. And so I'm like, "Okay, can I get your phone number?" And so I call him up and I said, "Does this thing like have any problems starting? Do you have to try it a couple times, pump the gas pedal?" Because nope, starts right up. And I said there and I said it drives and does absolutely. And so then before I went to the gym this morning, I'm like, I'm wondering. And then I came back from the gym and I talked to Stephanie and I said, "Stephanie, hey, can I show you something?" And she knows. I mean, she knows this has been my dream car forever. And well, long story short, I called my dad up and I'm going to go over at 2 o'clock to his office this afternoon. He's taking the afternoon off. And we're going to drive 1 hour north of here. And I'm going to go there. And if this car starts right up, and if I can drive it, and it doesn't stall on me or anything like that, given the fact that it's maybe my fault for stalling the manual transmission, it's been since 1997 since I've driven a manual transmission, but I'm pretty sure I'll be able to do that. But if this engine even runs and just starts up and idles well, and it looks as good as it does in the picture, this car is coming home tonight. It's not a question. This car is coming home tonight. This dream is coming true. I'm wearing my Beetle shirt to the car dealer. I've already put a $3,000 down payment on a car. I mean, we don't do credit, but just to hold it. And yeah, I'm like, listen, I'm serious. He's like, I'm gonna go get this car today. The only reason I would not have this car in my garage this evening would be if I go there and I have a hard time starting it, or if it does not idle well. Okay, but even I gotta tell you, this is a dream come true, and I'm almost convinced. Okay, no, I am convinced. I'm convinced this was meant to be. I mean, here's the deal. It's Monday. I should be busy. I should have tons of work to do, but for whatever reason, I chose not to put anything on my schedule today. I have a completely open schedule today. And I'm like, what am I going to do today? And I was thinking last night, what am I going to do tomorrow? I mean, I guess I could force myself to go do this or go do that or whatever. I spent 2 hours at the gym this morning because I didn't have anything to do today. And then I come home and this happens. And this is like, okay, now I know why my schedule has been left open all day. Is because it's time to make my dream come true. And so I just want to say this dream probably would not have come true had I not followed the formula, which number one is believe it's possible. Number two, uh, make the decision. Number three, write it down. Number four is tell other people about it. And number five is to work the plan as it becomes available. So again, podcastanswerman.com/goals. You'll learn how I achieve practically every goal that I have. Chris Nelson, I probably wouldn't have actually made the decision that, okay, this firmly now is a goal. By the way, just a month and a half after I decided it's a goal, boom, here. Christopher Voss, you rock for making me even think about this even further. Guys, I gotta tell you, I'm super excited. I wanted to share it with you. Gosh, what is it? I have to wait another hour and a half before I leave to go pick this thing up. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I want to ask you guys, what big dreams do you have? What goals are you setting for yourself? I guarantee you, if you go and look at podcastanswerman.com/goals and you take notes on that episode, I promise you that formula will work for you as well. All right? Anyway, thank you guys so much. Until next time, I encourage you to take everything you do to the next level.